Hi everyone, it's JoJo from Mojo Jojo Plans, and today is the day Amber and I are headed out to go wild today, as this video is posting like later on, but we are going to our second go wild, and I for one am super excited. Now I have a little bit more of an idea of what to expect when I go. Obviously things will be a little bit different, but overall, like, I think I have like the general vibe of it, and I'm just really excited to go. But something I realized I never did last year was share my go wild experience. I don't think I did that because around the time I got back from go wild, you know, I came back exhausted, just all done, like overstimulated, all the things as an introvert. And that same week, I'm pretty sure like that Wednesday, like, so I come home, I think we came home on Monday or something like that. And that Wednesday, my she shed got delivered. So this is actually like the anniversary time that I've had my shed. So I will have almost had it a year in March. So super exciting. But yeah, I think I just came home like super, like, you guys, I didn't even touch my swag for weeks. It was like we got my shed and I shoved it all in a drawer because I couldn't mentally handle dealing with it. And actually, if you watched one of my de-stash videos a few months ago, I finally went through some of that stuff because I couldn't mentally handle life when I got back home. And then, you know, between moving everything to my new office and getting it all ready, getting it how I wanted it to be, like, I just, like, you know, it was like thing after thing after thing, and then I just kind of lost track. So I was gonna just hop on and kind of share with you what my first go wild experience was. I'll probably have some pictures pop up. I'll find some of the pictures of just like people I met and stuff like that, just kind of flashing over here on the side as I kind of go over it. But yeah, so my first go wild was 2022. It was in Anaheim, which I feel like for me, like, made me feel a lot better about going. I don't know, like, if I would have been as comfortable if my first go wild had been this current one, which is going to Washington, D.C. Mainly because I had been to Anaheim, you know, that airport I'd been to before, like, I've flown in and out of that airport by myself before. I knew that area more, like, and that's Disney. So I was all jazzed about all the things because I was like, this is great, like, it's in the area I'm comfortable in, all that great stuff. So I ended up flying out by myself. I took my laptop. I think I worked on a sticker book, like, on the plane. I got there somewhere, like, I think like on the way to the airport or something, I found somebody that was landing around the same time I was. So we were planning to like meet up to, you know, hitch a ride from the airport to the hotel. And then I know, like, when we got there, found another person that was going, so like made new friends right away, which was so much fun. And that was like the fun thing about Go Wild, like, they have a private Facebook page for like people that are attending. So like they had lists of like, here's my flight info, like, this is when I get in, let's try and like Uber together or whatever that looked like. So that already made me feel better because I was really stressed out. I mean, I kind of was planning to just be like, oh, maybe I'll just Uber by myself and that'll just be like my last moment of peace. You know, the plane ride was my last moment of peace, and then when getting there was my last moment of peace of like just me by myself. But getting to ride with people was so much fun. And yeah, I just had like a great time doing that. So we get to the hotel. Around that same time, Amber was getting there, which worked out perfectly because she had already been there for a few days. But around that time, she was getting to the hotel, so we were able to check into our room. We got special key cards. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. We got special key cards for our rooms, which I thought was really cool. I was like, oh my gosh, it's like this cool. I actually still have mine. Yeah, I still have mine. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see detail of it, but it's from Chrissy and Designs, who sponsor. I think hopefully we'll get some this year. But like, it was just so much, like, that already just like made the experience so fun. So Amber and I roomed together. I think the day we got there, I think, yeah, that day we got there like later in the afternoon, evening. There wasn't anything yet, so I know Amber and I, like, we ended up walking somewhere to go find some dinner, going to like a CVS or Walgreens type place to get some snacks and stuff like that. And then kind of just, we saw people around, said hi to a few people that, we were seeing, which was awesome because people were kind of starting to trickle in. And then on Thursday was registration day, which I think that's always what it is. But Thursday was registration day. So it was like go down to wherever the area was at around 11, get in line. And there was so many people there. That was already overwhelming, and like you had to like find your line. And so of course Amber and I had to separate because we have different last names, so that was already like super overwhelming. But man, it was just so much fun to meet so many people and to be recognized. Like that for me was really weird. That was like oh yeah, like I'm meeting people that apparently like that watch my videos, which I think is so cool. So privilege, like pause, put in there, if you're going to go wild and you see me, please come say hi, because that was my absolute favorite thing out of the entire trip. Well, that and Disney, but out of the entire trip, that was my favorite thing, is just like getting to meet you guys and anybody that has supported by just watching or liking or whatever that, or purchasing, like whatever that looked like that meant so much to me to just like meet you, so that was the best thing. So check in. They had a room where it was like a sponsor room where you could walk around the room and go to different tables. So like Avery had one. Who had one? There was the Mildline Zebra. I was like Mildliners. The Zebra had like an area, and they had like freebies. I remember Live Love Posh. Oh, and actually like the night before all of this happened, we got to hang out with Jessica from Live Love Posh and help her get her stuff ready for her sponsor table, which was so much fun. So we got to meet a lot of like the volunteers there, and just got to have a blast hanging out with people that we like kind of knew but hadn't met in person before. So yeah, overall, like that part was fun. I'll insert the reel of like me and Amber doing like the fun, like they had that like camera thing that like goes around your body and gets like a 360 like little like real thingy. So if I can find it, I'll insert it so you can see the majesty of that. But oh my gosh, just like so much fun. But that day was probably like the biggest day, of course, because like everybody's there. You're like running into people, meeting people, talking to people the whole time. So I think it was like probably like around like 2:00 drained. Like we had been down there since like around 11, 2:00 drained. I'm an introvert, so for me, at least, this might not be true for all introverts, but for me, being around people is super draining. Like, I love it. Like, if I have to be put in a situation where I'm around a lot of people, I'm going to suck it up and I'm going to do it. I'm more of like an adaptive introvert. But it was super draining. So we like went back to the room. I think at one point Amber was like, I'm just going to go somewhere by myself. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go somewhere by myself. And I ended up going and walking around downtown Disney by myself for like 2 hours. And it was so peaceful. I got myself some beignets and went shopping and like went to like the big, Disney store and just kind of like oohed and awed at all the things. And I think I came back with some stuff, but that was a really good just like moment to reset a little bit to get ready for the actual conference, because you guys, the conference hadn't even started yet and I was already like, I'm not even like a full 24 hours in and I'm already drained. So yeah, the first day was awesome. I will say like people got up crazy early. There were probably people down there at like midnight, like ready to get in line. I will say at that particular go out, like I haven't seen how other ones have worked, but the way like where we were waiting to go into the room. So the first day is the sponsor day. That's like the big day that everybody's so excited for, because you have the sponsor tables, which, it's small shops, bigger places, like whatever that might be. They sponsor a table, meaning like at every single seat at that table, if there's 10 seats, there is stuff for you that you get to take home. So everybody goes buck wild, because who doesn't love free stuff? I mean, technically you pay for it in the, like it's included in the ticket, but like still, like who doesn't love that? And I'm not saying that's at all what Go Wild is about, but like really though, I think like for some people that is what it's about, and that's totally okay if it is. But yeah, so like the way they had it, like this hotel that we stayed at, the middle was cut out because there was escalators that go down and up. So like we couldn't be lining up in the middle. So the line wrapped around this square several times. You couldn't figure out where the end was. And then when they opened the doors, whoever was closer to the doors, like the lines just like dispersed. Like the line should have just like, you know, snaked around, everybody followed leader. But no, it just like turned into chaos and everybody was just like free for all, like running, like charge the doors. So that was crazy and chaotic. But got a table. I sat at a zebra table. I got a lot of fun, like zebra mildliners and all that good stuff. But I was like, what table is catching my eye first? And then I just went there. And I honestly went the opposite direction of a lot of people. I like sat towards the back because I was like overwhelmed. But yeah, it was just really great to hear the speakers there, and it was just like inspiring, and it made me feel better because, you know, there's also people that might be in the same boat as you, and you're just around people that like love what you love as far as like planners and stickers and just like crafts in general. Like it was just a really great experience to be around like-minded people, and it was just so much fun. And you know, you weren't at the, like, it was kind of long, like sitting there and like listening to speakers, but like they were so engaging that it didn't seem like boring, you know. So it was a lot of fun. They had snacks in the middle of the day. Oh, the night before, like the registration day, there was like a welcome party thingy. I don't think we really spent a lot of time at that. And then there was the crop night, I think, on the first, like that Friday. I think by the time we got down there, like everything kind of got wiped out a little bit, so we didn't really do too much there. So I think like overall, like there were just a lot of people, and it was basically like if you weren't at certain things at like right on time, you kind of missed out a little bit. Because I know like on Thursday when we were going through that sponsor room, like later on, you know, everything was completely picked over, or like certain things were like completely gone. So it was just if you're not there early, then you're missing out on a lot of the chaos, which isn't a bad thing. But then there weren't a lot of like things, like they had like take home crafts and all that stuff, and there wasn't a lot of that kind of thing. What else? So first day was so much fun. Second day was the day that people do table mate gifts, which it's not required. If nobody's gonna like shun you if you show up to Go Wild and you don't bring anything for the people that you're sitting with, especially like we sat with people we knew, and so it was just kind of like, oh, like you already knew what I was gonna bring for my table mate gifts, so like here you go. So like it's more just like fun, and like people can use that, like maybe use that as like a de-stash of some stuff that you've never touched. It's brand new, whatever, like you could use that, but you don't have to do that. But that one was like definitely less pressure, because it was just like everybody just go find a table, and it wasn't like they weren't set up, you know, like they were the day before. So that day was great. And then they had PlanJamma, which, ooh, the Happy Planner put on PlanJamma, and favorite part, so much fun, dance parties. They had snack food. It was open bar. Like it was just so much fun. So it was just like a few hours. Everybody wears PJs. Last year though, I made the mistake of wearing footy pajamas, and let me tell you, I died. It's a good thing, like the way I wore it, I put on a tank top underneath it. So like I think half the time I was like walking around with it like tied to my waist, like I took off the top part because I was dying. So now I know. So this year I'm not doing that. I think I'm just gonna wear probably some leggings, and then Amber and I are gonna do something cool for our tops. But yeah, so I was like, I learned my lesson, because like you're just hot, like there's so many people in a room dancing around. It was hot. So footy pajamas were not the way, even though they were perfect because they were purple leopard footy pajamas. But who knows, maybe it'll be a little bit colder in DC to where it'll make a little bit more sense to wear them there. I think we ended up spending some of the night like outside and hanging out outside just to like cool down because it was so hot inside. So yeah, overall, all I have to say, overall, my first Go Wild experience was a really good one. There weren't any bad parts, other than like, again, I get super overwhelmed being like around a ton of people. So that was probably the only thing I had to like really gauge myself. So like I really had to take those like breaks of when we had breaks in between things. I was like, okay, I need to just like go lay down in the hotel room for a little bit, or like the first day, like I went by myself and just like walked around because I just needed that time. But overall, like it was just such a great experience to just be around and meet so many awesome people that, again, are like-minded and you know, like I can't tell, like, and I still feel weird. Like I tell, you know, my family, I'm like, oh, I'm going to a conference for planners, and they like look at me like I'm weird. And it's like, you go wild and nobody's gonna look at you like you're weird because they all love the same thing. So that was the best part, is just like not feeling weird. Like I can't tell most of my family what I like what I do, or even if like my husband's like, you know, he introduces me to like a new person, and then they're like, oh, what do you do for a living? And I'm like, I play with planners and stickers, like, you know, like that's weird. And then they like look at me like, oh, like how, like, you know, but there's none of that at Go Wild. Like they just understand, like I don't have to explain what I do there. And that was my favorite thing of Go Wild. So overall, first Go Wild was a great experience. So I'm really, really excited to go to this next Go Wild. I have my second Go Wild little button that I'm going to put on my lanyard. Yeah, so overall, it's a great experience. If it's something that you could ever save up for, I would so recommend it. Like, it's definitely a bucket list thing to do. It's just so much fun, especially to meet people that you connect with online so much, you know, and it's just like, dang, like we could be best friends, you know, like, and then you meet them and you're like, oh my gosh, we could be like, we are best friends. Like, you know, you're just like around people that you talk to all the time over the internet, which stranger danger, like apparently we weren't taught that. But you know, like it's like cool to connect, you know, Instagram handles or YouTube handles to like an actual person, an actual face, like hug them, meet them, take a picture with them. Like that is so much fun. And just like a great part of it. So if it's something that you could ever swing or like aim to save up for, please do it. And maybe wait, like it hops around. Like last year it was in Anaheim. It's been in Texas before. I don't know. It's been in Las Vegas before. I don't know where all the Go Wilds were. Those are the first ones that pop up in my mind. So it was Anaheim. It's going to be in Washington, D.C. this year. So they hop around. So like hopefully it would come somewhere close to you to where maybe you could save some money on not getting a plane ticket and just driving there. Or, you know, maybe it's close enough to where like you don't have to stay at the hotel. You can just like, you know, just commute each day. So, you know, there's different ways. It goes to different places, and they usually announce it. I think they announced like in August, September, October. Like I think it was like in August. When did I buy my tickets? Or maybe in the summertime. I can't remember. I gotta look at when I purchased my tickets, because then it was probably like a month or two before then. But I want to say like somewhere around like end of summer was when they announced when the next Go Wild was going to be. So then that way you could kind of gauge like, is it close enough? But I would highly recommend it. I have had so much fun. There's other conferences that I really want to try going to too that are a little smaller scale, which seems like my cup of tea considering I get super overwhelmed and overstimulated being around a lot of people. So yeah, anyway, that's my first experience. Hopefully that kind of made sense. I know there's like so much to unpack, and of course, because I'm doing this like a year later, I don't remember every single detail. But I just remember like that's kind of how it went. We had different speakers. Sometimes the speakers had things to give the attendees. There's also options to like apply to be a volunteer at the event and be the one to be passing around stuff, setting up stuff, cleaning up stuff, whatever that might be. But yeah, overall, it's a great experience. It's definitely not just for the swag that you get. Like, yes, you get a lot of swag and a lot of stuff to bring home, and they really weren't kidding when they were like, yeah, pack light so that way you have room for stuff on the way home, or maybe bring a big bag and then bring a carry-on, because I struggled with getting everything in my bag to take home and making sure like I wasn't overweight. So they weren't kidding, but that's not just what it's about. Like, yes, that's an awesome perk of it, but I just really loved getting to connect with people and meet people and put people's faces to the names that I see online all the time, or the people that I've admired for years and years. So that has been a really great aspect of Go Wild. So anyway, Amber and I are heading there today as this video is being posted. So I will do better. I'm going to try my best this time to take some videos and stuff. That way I can share them with you. And then that way I can give you an overview and a more clear of how this year's Go Wild goes. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the little slideshow that was happening over here. But hopefully this kind of answers some questions about what goes on at Go Wild, like why And then if you have more questions, I can try to answer them below. But again, I don't remember much, so I'll probably have a better idea after I go again this year. But yeah, I just remember it being a really good experience. I made some new lifelong friends there. Went to Disney with some of them, and it was just a really great experience. And I'm just glad because like I walked out of there with more friends than I had going in, and that was like the best part of it. So, but yeah, so there we go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I hope I'll see you in my next one. Bye!